Hey y'all, I'm back with the scrapbooking and project life process video for the Hip Kit Club for June 2016. And I'm starting with a white background that came in our cardstock kit. And I am simply adding or placing a Happy Place Dear Lizzie die cut phrase right on top of that paper and then spraying it with our Shimmers Mandarin Mai Tai that came in our color kit. I just did that for kind of a negative look, a negative space look, and I do like that so far, but then as I move on, I like it less and less. And so I'll show you what I do to kind of try to fix it. And I'll be really honest, this is not my favorite layout. And sometimes we have those, and I didn't want to completely redo it because I felt like, you know, that I needed to just keep it real and show you guys what I don't like about this layout because I normally don't really keep in that kind of stuff or I or I like the way that my layout turns out, so I don't redo it. And so this time I was really tempted to redo it, and I didn't because I wanted to keep the process in, and I wanted to show you guys how I went about trying to fix this layout. So I'm starting by just kind of layering my papers, and this week we're focusing on making it masculine. So I tried. That's probably my biggest challenge was trying to make this layout masculine and keeping it to a minimum without adding all the frilly pinks and florals and stuff like that, and which is what I love to do, and which is some of my favorite products are pink and mint and all those pretty colors. And so I wanted to keep it just kind of simple and use like the navy and the blue and the black and white and that kind of thing. So that's what I did for this layout, and I hope you guys like the way it turns out. So I'm pulling some pieces because I felt like something was needed underneath that negative space where it says you are lovely, and I found a couple of pieces from the Currently Project Life collection as well as the Hip Kit Club exclusive collection called Everyday by Kim Watson, and I'm just going to make kind of a little embellishment cluster right underneath that. Now, one thing about that label, those labels from the Currently Project Life collection, or just the ephemera pack in general, is it's pretty. Those are pretty heavy duty pieces of cardstock. In fact, they call them chipboard. I didn't think that those would go very well or fit very well into my typewriter, so I decided to use a Simple Stories um, sticker right on top of that. And then I also used one of those Simple Stories stickers right on top of the photo. And I love the way that those just add a little bit of something extra onto your photos. But they're really sticky. So like once they're on, they're on. So if they get stuck before you're ready to stick them, then there's no taking those off. I'm also using one of those banners from the Bloom, or one of the rubber pieces, and it's a banner. It says "Love You" from the Bloom Maggie Holmes collection, and then a few other pieces from the Currently Project Life collection, which is the camera and the little clip up at the top of the photo, and then a couple of wood veneer pieces, of course. So at this point, I am sort of liking the way it's turning out, but in my head, I'm like, well, I'm going to add some more stuff, so it's going to look better once I'm done. Well, I thought that was the case, and so at this point, I'm thinking hard, like, what else do I want to do to this page? I don't really like the way that it's turning out. I want to add more, but I'm not really sure what to add, and I want to try to, and probably because of the design of the layout, there's plenty of product to add, but I think the design left like minimal space for me to add more things. And so if I added it in the right corner, that's not going to look right. If I add it in the right lower corner, and I meant to say right upper corner at the beginning, but if I add more stuff below that cluster, I think it's going to be too much on that side. So I decided to add India ink. That's like my go-to when I'm not really sure what else a page needs. So off camera, I got super frustrated, and I decided to pull a Project Life, like just little pen, I don't even know what the size is, and just sketch around the page, but also sketch. First, I sketched right on top of that negative space that says "You are lovely," just to see if that would add something extra. It did, but at this point, I'm like, I was gonna trash it. But I decided to keep it, like I said in the beginning. And then at the bottom, and I'll show you that here in a second, at the bottom, I also tried to sketch a little something under that embellishment cluster and did not like the way that turned out. So I covered it with some of those puffy stickers that are exclusive. They are those scalloped puffy stickers. And I do like the way that turned out. And the blue and that super dark navy, or it kind of almost looks black, goes with the rest of the page. So, and I do like the way this watercolor effect turned out. I kind of went for a gradient ombre type of look where I started kind of a darker aqua at the top and then gradually came down with it. Which I do like the way that the layout turned out, and you guys will see some final photos at the end, but I just wasn't super sure about it. But I do think it's starting to grow on me. So I'm moving on to my Project Life spread at this point. And I decided to scrap some pictures of my daughter before church, and I'm going to use these photos for the week 3 just to kind of do a little bit of a a photo shoot type spread, which I had this in my mind, honestly, when I posted these pictures on Instagram. I had in my mind that I wanted to use those pictures for a spread in my Project Life, and so I'm really glad that I got around to doing that. This was I don't want to say one of the first times, but I started dressing her a little bit more fashionably, I guess, once she got a little bit older and started developing more of like a personality and wasn't just like a super teeny baby anymore. And so I wanted to snap these photos because it was the winter and she had her little boots on, her little sweater and some tights. And so this is when I really started having a blast dressing her. I did before, but a lot of it was, I mean, we changed her all the time because of her explosions and her spit up and stuff like that. So she's getting older at this point, and we are, I was getting more into that fashionable type stuff. So I wanted to document that. And of course, I am going to title it Sunday Photo Shoot, I think, and I'm just going to use some of these simple stories alphas. And then the cards, some of them are exclusive, the exclusive cards, and some of them are exclusive papers that I cut up to 3x4 cards. And then I think maybe 1 or 2 pieces are, one's Dear Lizzie, possibly another one is the other side is Dear Lizzie. I'm not really quite sure. But I'm first just kind of simply adding, I'm adding little pieces here and there from that same sticker sheet, but I didn't really care to layer up my photos. They're already, I think, like 2.5 by 2.5, I think. Maybe even bigger. I'm not really quite sure. I'm trying to think. I can't remember. They might be smaller than that since that's 3, or they might be bigger than that since those are 3 across. But anyway, I am digressing big time. But I wanted to just kind of keep that simple and do a lot of embellishing. So that's what I did. I'm adding several wood veneer pieces that you guys saw before. I'm using some of the Simple Stories Sunshine and Happiness brads, and then that A is a Jelly Bean Soup letter, and I just thought I could just use her first initial there just to kind of add a little bit of something. And then I also on every photo put the number. So I put 1, 2, 3, obviously all the way up to 9. I thought that added a special little touch. And then if I added a few puffy stickers, and then I'm just adding a few more elements, and then I'm going to be done here in a second. And I really love the way this one turned out too. Well, I lie. I love the way this one turned out. I did not love the way the other one turned out. But this is more my style, I think, and the other one was just kind of threw me off. But I still am proud of myself for stepping out of my comfort zone a little bit and kind of being really bold with the sketchy part and the artsy part of my layout. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these processes, and let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you guys have a great week.